Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm John Tayer, President and CEO of the Boulder Chamber, and I'm here today with my great friend Chip, who is the CEO of the Downtown Boulder Partnership, who has announced that he's departing our community, going back to California, which he's got a lot of explaining to do. But we're going to have a special conversation with Chip about what he's enjoyed about our community, the vision he's had for the downtown, and how he hopes to see that going forward, and just to hear a little bit about what his future direction is. So I will just start by saying he broke my heart when he told me that he was moving on, but it's a great opportunity. And so maybe just to start by telling us what's your future?
Well, John, I just want to say it's not you, it's me.
You didn't say that off camera, by the way, but okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, we're being drawn back. Neighbor and I have a lot of family on the West Coast,
Sure.
in California and Bay Area. There's moments where those needs are arising, and we're kind of being called by family in a lot of ways to be back there for this chapter. So
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still will be working in the downtown management world in other aspects, but I tell you, I will miss this place dearly. It's such a special community and a special part of the world. So I will be back often.
Love it.
Frequently.
Well, maybe just if you could tell us, it's a special place, but you've already made a significant impact in just about 4 years that you've been here, through 4 very difficult years, mind you, through the COVID period. So tell me, what are you maybe most proud of in terms of accomplishments from your tenure at the helm of Downtown Boulder Partnership?
Sure. It's a good question. I think somebody else asked me that, and I think I thought about it a lot. And I think I'm going to be excited to come back in 5 years and see what my accomplishments really were.
Very fun.
And because I think a lot of seeds have been planted. And what I'm most proud of, honestly, is the partnerships. That includes yourself in the chamber. Visit Boulder, the SB, all the city folks we get to work with, and it has been. You mentioned I've been here 4 years. I came here 6 months before the world changed, and then the world changed, and then the world changed, and then and so it's been in a constant state of transition and evolution and growth, and it's. I think what I'm most proud of is being able to be part of the community that navigated these last many years so well together.
Yeah.
Certainly not without a lot of challenges, but I think we were able to face those challenges from a place of collaboration, from a place of support and kind of with even when the vision wasn't articulated, there was a shared vision.
Yeah. And
I think that remains.
I agree, and it definitely, I'd say COVID and those very difficult challenges brought our business community together. But I will say that you had a role in setting a vision for Downtown Boulder and the inclusive nature of that area of our community. Maybe just talk about that and just sort of what you see going forward from the foundation that you laid.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was an interesting moment because, a year ago, little over a year ago, kind of as we were getting our feet under ourselves coming out of the pandemic and saying, okay, now what? I think that question was really big.
Yeah.
Right. And as you alluded to, we spent the better part of last year, 2022. Was that last year? I lose track of the years anymore.
What year is it? Okay, yeah, it was.
We spent the better part of the year collecting, revealing a vision for Downtown Boulder. And that was driven from the moment of what was pushing behind us, and that every part of downtown was changing. Retail is changing drastically. Retail has been changing, and what the pandemic did to online shopping and had changed everything. How we do retail has changed. The restaurant world was turned upside down and continues to be trying to understand how does this model work now. Office uses, we're still trying to figure that out. Public space, totally different. Everything changed. And there was also this milestone coming up that when we started this, the 50th anniversary of the Pearl Street Mall was 5 years out.
Yeah.
Now it's a little over 4 years out.
Yep.
So there was a push and pull, and we've talked about this a lot about like, so where do we want to go? Like, what do we want our downtown to be, and for whom, and how? And and I'm really proud of the vision plan, which is on our website. On boulderdowntown.com. I'm proud of the result of the vision plan, but more so I'm really proud of the process that got us there. We really engaged the community. We really talked to, this isn't Chip's vision plan or Downtown Boulder Partnerships. I feel like to the degree we were able to, this was a community vision.
Yeah. And you did reach out. I mean, I saw you with that poster describing the process, and it was getting pretty beat up by the end.
We get a lot of feedback. We went out into the community. Yeah. We went out. We didn't just ask people in downtown about downtown. We went everywhere as much as we can. We get a lot of engagement, and it's ongoing, and we're continuing to do that. What came out of the vision plan is some really, really exciting. Well, an exciting vision, really, and. A lot of that for downtown is really focused on how do we expand downtown? How does downtown grow? And when I talk about expansion, I think like being really careful about what that means. I think certainly such an extraordinary opportunity we have right now with University Hill and CU Boulder, and the investment in the conference center and the investment in the Hill Hotel, which will spur more investment in the Hill district. And how does that benefit the whole community, and how do we engage with that in downtown and provide support for the Hill and connect the Hill in downtown, connect the commercial districts. Similarly,
easy for you to say.
Likewise,
very good.
we'll be seeing more investment in Boulder Junction, and and what does that mean for downtown, and how do we just expand the idea of downtown Boulder for more people to enjoy, more communities, more types of shops, more diversity in the offerings there. How do we connect downtown even more than it is with the creek, and Central Park in the area? There's so much exciting things happening. We have planned a summer of activations on 13th Street in a very kind of rushed but exciting program where we're going to be doing some really fun events and activations there. That all kind of ties into that vision of connecting downtown with the civic area, with University Hill. And really also the other thing I'll say, and this is probably, if I was going to focus on one word out of the vision plan and out of what I've really learned here and tried to embody and live here, is the idea of co-creation, right? Downtown Boulder, and our public space and public and private realm that exists in downtown Boulder, it belongs to all of us. Whether you're here for the day from out of the country, or you live here all your life, for it to be successful, people need to be able to see themselves, and a diversity of people need to be able to see themselves. So a lot of the work we're doing in programming, we're trying not to be top down in Downtown Boulder Partnership saying this is the idea we're wanting to do, but we're trying to create a space and a structure so we can invite community members who want to do programming, who want to do engagement, who want to do activity, to come be able to co-create in the downtown.
I love it. I mean, I think about how that picks up on a concern that Summit had about downtown being the place where tourists, visitors go, and you maybe go when you have visitors coming.
Right.
And I just love this notion of re-engaging the full community as this in the center of our community. What is it, the living room of Boulder or something like that? Well, let's hit on just another issue that you and I'm losing them. Another issue that you and I have worked closely on, and that is one that is a conundrum around the country for downtown areas, but hopefully we're working towards solutions on, and that is homelessness. We've had the chance to collaborate on a policy framework. So maybe I just ask you to describe for yourself, do we need to take a water break?
I know, I think I'm okay.
All
Sorry.
right.
I'm having allergies. I think it's you.
See, again, it's me. That's why he's leaving. Just talk about just what your sort of sense of that plan and what you are excited about in terms of the opportunity it creates.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question because there's the plan. Exciting isn't really where I would put it, but I think that we started the conversation, right, in the community in a really, I feel, in a profound way. It's an important conversation. It's not going to go away. We've talked about this a lot. I think a lot of people who work in the homelessness world have aspirations to solve homelessness. I don't believe that's something we should aspire to. I think we need to manage the issues surrounding homelessness, and there's a lot of different elements to that. I think having the conversation is important. One of the things, you and I talked about this briefly, we fall into the language of a balance, like between, and I think one of the things that I really have seen and I believe is so much of it we feel like, for example, a balance between providing services and support, balance with providing enforcement. And the idea of balance is there's a fulcrum, and if you push down on one side, it's going to push up the other side. And I don't believe that is true when we're talking about all of the tools that we need to address. We want to be able to provide reasonable support so people who are experiencing homelessness, people who are experiencing all of the challenges that are related to living unsheltered in the street can find a path out of that. That's not always easy, and people aren't always ready to meet you where the services you provide are. And we have to be vigilant as a community. We have to invest in that. We have to support the groups who do that work every day. And we need to protect our public spaces from the impacts of people living unsheltered. Right, and there's a lot of ways to do that. I don't think it's a balance between enforcement and support. I think we need to do all of it. We need to push on all levels, and understand what works and what doesn't. Right, and I think the more we get in this, I think we have to be brave enough to say what doesn't work and try some things that we don't know. The good news in all of this is Boulder is by far not alone in this. Right, and there are so many communities out there struggling with the same issues, and many communities finding solutions. Information is really tricky because you can look at a city without really understanding it and say, well, this is bad, or this is good, or this is working. So I think being really thoughtful in that conversation, and the more that we can have honest conversations and set aside our own biases or presuppositions and really look objectively at what can work and what can't work, rather than try to support our position. I have seen this issue become so polarizing, and that is the biggest danger I see in addressing homelessness is trying to get away from the polarization and try to really understand the solutions. If we're on opposite sides of the solution and you come up with a good idea, I can't be predisposed to dismiss your idea because we're on the opposite side, and you see that so much.
What a great attitude. It is, I will say that I'm going to miss you as the intellectual partner in that work.
I don't know about that.
It's been a great partnership. I've learned a lot from you in that effort, and you're right. I mean, as we said at the opening of our policy framework, we're entering this with great humility, and we have to be open to learning together as a community all along the line. So really important. So just to close it out here, just thinking about just reflecting on 4 years and just the things you've enjoyed about Boulder, and then if you had some guidance for us in reflection for the future, for our economy, for our community, what words of wisdom would you offer for us?
Well, that's a lot. So I have really enjoyed, I just first want to acknowledge my team at the Downtown Boulder Partnership has been like a dream. Like I drive them crazy. I'm not going to say it's mutual, but at the end of the day, they're just extraordinary. To a person, my team has been phenomenal. You know them. You get to work with many of them. It has been an honor to work with my staff and my board. I have a very large, 4 very large boards, and they're extraordinary people, and the people who have come on and off the board. And so the community of people who are invested and care about this community, and in my world, particularly the downtown, is just, it's overwhelming how much brilliance and concern there is for our community.
Yeah.
And that has been a treat. And you know, I know that I've forged some very, very deep friendships that will last the rest of my life. And you know, there's many things I'm proud of. I think our ambassador program downtown that we launched after the pandemic out of kind of a new need, and has been very successful. I think it's been well received from the business community of providing a level of support that is needed. I do still think there's more we can do with that program as the needs continue to change and evolve, and the resources continue to change, and the tools are changing. So I do think, you know, we touched on the vision plan. I feel really good about that. I really hope that everyone who was involved with that can stay involved with that, and it doesn't sit on a shelf. I have seen already, just within half a year of finishing it, a lot of the programs we're working on with the city and others really has informed a lot of the work we're doing, which feels really good to, you know, you invest all this energy in putting something together, and then you want it to live and evolve, and I feel like it has. I hope that continues. You know, I do think, you know, one of the things you talked about was the downtown being the place where you bring your relatives when they're in town and you don't hang out. I think when I got here, I was struck by that narrative, and I was also struck by how false that narrative was. Boulderites love our downtown, and rightly so. It is the best downtown in the country. Fight me, right? And Boulderites love it, right? There's a nostalgia that the business that was there last year was the best business ever, and also nothing's new. The narrative I found to be false. When I first got here, I had so many conversations with, not so many, but a number of conversations with locals saying, I never come downtown. You know, we're downtown, right? But the idea that it was the tourist place. And I feel like we've done a lot of work to really unearth that, and to really bring, and COVID helped with that. I mean, COVID did help. It's weird to say, but I think there's an extraordinary amount of support for our local businesses. Downtown Boulder is still roughly 90% locally owned, right? That's extraordinary for this period, for a downtown this size. And that's a testament to the love that the community has for our downtown. You know, I feel like one of the things I'm proud of is the work we've done with it. We've put together a community advisory board, bringing folks from the community who weren't necessarily business owners or property owners in the downtown to be more involved with the governance and the leadership in downtown. I think they've done some extraordinary work. They've been an honor to work with them as well. The last thing you asked for was about advice. This is weird because Boulder does this really well, but celebrate, right? Continue to celebrate. And there's a lot of good celebrations about, you know, honoring different people and different awards. We give each other awards. And Boulder's extraordinary. Boulder is there's no place like Boulder. And it's because of the people who are here. It's because of the community that is here, and those people attract more brilliant and amazing and creative people, and celebrate that, and also make room for new celebrations and new brilliance and new geniuses and new exciting people to come here. It needs to continue to expand and grow. You need more energy here. You always have. It's always done that. It will continue to do that, and just celebrate that. Celebrate everything that is Boulder.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, wise words of wisdom. Not surprising. And I'll say that we'll celebrate what your legacy has been. And you know, it's interesting. We talk about our roles, the kinds of roles that we have for the organizations and the institutions that we represent. We're stewards of those who have come in the past, who have brought us to a certain place, and then we have the opportunity to work to help mold the organizations in response to global situations and local needs. And I will say that no question, you've had just a very positive impact on this era for downtown Boulder. I know that you've set a path for the vision of a future that is, as you say, more inclusive, and I think addressing some of the challenges, the very specific challenges, homelessness, but also responding to the perceptions that I think were, as you said, were in many ways misplaced, but maybe just in people speaking about them and addressing them makes them feel more ownership in the downtown. So I'll just say thank you for all of that, and I'll say thank you for being a great friend in this work that's at times very challenging, and so I'll miss being your partner, my friend.
Likewise, appreciate you.
Thanks
for everything.
All right. That concludes our chat for today, but we will see you next time. Hopefully he'll see it because he'll be watching it, I'm sure, on his computer. On Chamber Chat.